Royal Television. We inspire.
Royal FM is Ilorin's premier classic music radio station.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's 6 minutes past 10. You're tuned into Royal FM 95.1 here in Ilorin, Kwara State. And it is The Governor Explains, that the program that's coming up right now on the station. Transparency, accountability, and participation, and of course inclusion is important, and they're key aspects of good governance, most especially now that Nigeria is in democratic times. And I do believe that is why the Governor Explains, the public enlightenment program with His Excellency Governor Abdulfatah Ahmed, was born to provide an interactive platform between the people of Kwara State and the state government. Now, the Governor Explains is the program you're listening to right now, coming to you exclusively from the studios of Royal FM 95.1. I am Timi Tokwe Oluleye. And co-hosting this program with me today is a well-celebrated ace broadcaster, of course, a senior colleague as well. I'm talking about Alhaji Abdulfatai Dankazeem. Thank you for being here, sir. Alright, so we'll get right into the nitty-gritty of the program. Now, I want to tell you that because this program is an interactive program, there are so many different avenues for you to call in. Of course, there are so many social media platforms like Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook, and we'll give you a platform to interact. It's an open interaction here, alright? So do not be intimidated in any way. Alright, so let us get right down into it. We have a couple of questions, a couple of critical questions to ask His Excellency today, and he will be answering those questions in detail. And it's all about the overall development of the state, and of course how to move this great state of ours, the peaceful state of ours, how to move it forward, of course. You're welcome again, sir. Thank you so much for being here. His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Abdulfatah Ahmed. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's such a honor and a great privilege. It's always a pleasure to have you here at Royal FM.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Thank you, sir. All right, so let's get right into the nitty-gritty of the program. We have a couple of questions to ask Excellence. We're going to start right now. All right, so, sir, there is controversy over the payment of civil salaries, and especially regarding disparity in the exercise. Now the question is, can you explain why some workers have been paid and others have not yet been paid?
Yes, you see, the issue of salaries can be seen from two clear sides. Firstly, there are salaries to civil servants at the state level, and salaries to civil servants at the local government level. For the state level, we have paid all salaries up to date. As a matter of fact, we did not wait to get the federation allocation before we paid the salaries of our own civil servants at the state level. And you could recall that about 3-4 months ago, we had challenges when we were just coming out of elections. We had challenges when allocation had dropped to levels when we couldn't even pay salaries. But we still managed to take ourselves through. And when the bailout scheme came, we did not only adjust to pay the backlog of 2 months' salaries at a go to our staff and to our civil servants, we also maintained a balance that before the next allocation came last month, we had paid the salaries. So that told that we are perfectly on the right direction at the state level. Now for the local government level, local government civil servants who are largely primary school teachers and also local government workers, they had their salaries delayed because they did not get the bailout. We requested for the bailout at the same time, but it was not obliged at that time. They now requested that it be represented. We now represented it, and we're still expecting it to come, God's willing, this week or next week. And it was premised against this that, one, there had been delays in payment of outstanding salaries to primary school teachers and local government workers. It was simply because Central Bank did not approve the bailout for them at that time, and we're still expecting the approval. So it is not as if maybe anybody was owing the local government workers other than the allocation that did not come in. Secondly, the allocation that had always come in had always been lower than what it used to be. It cannot pay all the salaries like before again. So that is why there's always a shortfall. Now the key issue here is that at the time, just before Salah, we saw the pressure from primary school teachers and local government workers. And the labor people ran to me and said, look, come to our aid. And I said, okay, on the strength of that, we'll also borrow money for them to pay salaries. I called the bankers. I called the labor union leadership. We sat together. We agreed on the differences that was outstanding. We agreed on how much we were going to borrow. They saw me talking to the banks. And they heard how much the bank said they were making available on that day. And the account should be credited on that day. It was something I put on phone that they all had. And on the strength of that, I called the SSA media, go to the radio and television, tell everybody that we have directed the banks to borrow us money and will pay all salaries. Unfortunately, it all happened between a day or two before Salah. So the process of crediting accounts, of transferring monies from here and there, of course you don't expect that everybody will get a salary at the same time. So that was what caused the slight delay in the payment of salaries to local government workers. We came to their aid. It is not our responsibility. So when I hear people saying that the governor has not been able to help the teachers to get their salaries, not teachers, I don't owe teachers. I only owe teachers in secondary school whom I have paid. The teachers in primary school are owed by the local government. Unfortunately, this is the responsibility of chairmen. Don't forget, it is about local government. And in Kwara State, we have always followed the law. We have elected chairmen. We don't have TIC. We have elected chairmen. They are executive chairmen. So it is their responsibility to come and tell the people why the monies are not available for salaries and how they will meet the governor to help them, and which I have done. So I should be given a kudos for what I have done. Not that people should come and fight me and say that I have not paid salaries. I have actually helped to pay salaries of the local government chairmen. For me at the state level, we are happy, we have paid all salaries. If you hear anything outstanding in salaries in state, it is to do with revenue generating institutions, i.e. tertiary institutions and media houses. And we are not saying we are not going to give them money. But you see, don't forget, they are a revenue generating. So we want to truly begin to look at the gap that exists between revenue generation and additional support that you want from government. The reason is because we cannot continue to go the way we used to do it again. Allocation has dropped. If I used to give you 100 million, it is not possible again because allocation has dropped. So we must review what we used to do. So not that they won't get money, but we'll review what we used to do. It cannot continue again. That's why there is a slight delay in their own. Because we'll review what they are raising as a revenue agency, either as an institution, as it were. Then we look at what we need to give you again. So we'll agree on that and then we'll move forward. But everybody will definitely get a salary. We're not going to sack anybody. We're going to ensure that everybody continues to work and gets paid as and when due.
Lákòókò ni pé kí ni ọ̀bọ fi sórí tí náà kí o ṣe láàrin àwọn ìjọba òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba nítorí pé àwọn kan ti ń gba owó oṣù àwọn kan sì rèé wọn ni wọn ò tí ì rí gbà. Gómìnà wa sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ owó oṣù pín sí méjì o. Àkọ́kọ́ nípa ti ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀, èkejì nípa ti ìjọba ìbílẹ̀. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ tí a ń pè rí ó ní pé gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tí ó jẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ ọba pátápátá ni wọ́n ti san owó fún tó sì jẹ́ pé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara wọn ìwúlẹ̀ dúró de owó tí ń bọ̀ l'Abuja kan tó lè wá wọ̀rọ̀ kò fi ṣàdá láti san owó oṣù àwọn òṣìṣẹ́. Wọ́n ní nìkan bí oṣù 3 sí 4 sẹ́yìn kùdìẹ̀kùdìẹ̀ kan wà nípa owó tí ń wọlé sí àkótó ìjọba láti ọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ilé tó sì jẹ́ pé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ yìí wọ́n ṣe gúdúgúdú méje láti wá owó sí ibi tí wọ́n lè wá owó sí àmọ́ wọ́n ṣe wà lórí ibi tí a wà lónìí wọn ò jẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ kan ní owó. Àwọn tí wọ́n lè sọ pé wọn ò tí ì rówó gbà kò ju àwọn àjọ tí wọ́n pa owó wọlé fúnra wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn iléeṣẹ́ ìròyìn tàbí àwọn tí wọ́n bẹ ní ilé ìwé gíga tá a mọ̀ sí tertiary institutions. Tó nípa ti ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ wọ́n ní ó pín sí méjì. Àkọ́kọ́ nù rẹ̀ ni àwọn olùkọ́ni tí wọ́n ilé ìwé alákọ̀ọ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ àti àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ gan. Ojúṣe àwọn alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ni láti pèsè owó oṣù fún àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ yìí àmọ́ ńgbà tó yá àwọn ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ àti àgbáríjọ àwọn tí wọ́n bẹ níjọba ìbílẹ̀ wọ́n tọ̀ wá pé gómìnà ẹ ràn wá lọ́wọ́ báwo la ṣe ṣe tí ebi ò fi panú. Gómìnà wa ní wọ́n bá àwọn ilé ìfowópamọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ láti rí pé wọ́n yá wọn lówó láti fi san àwọn owó ṣiṣẹ́ yìí nígbà tí ọdún kù ọ̀túnla. Wọ́n ní nígbàgede náà ni wọ́n gbé ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ sí tí gbogbo wọn ń gbọ́ àtàwọn òṣìṣẹ́ o àti ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ wa àti àwọn tí wọ́n aṣojú àwọn ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ tí wọ́n sì ní oyè báyìí ni wọ́n lè rí tí wọ́n sì san sínú akoto wọn. Àmọ́ lásìkò tá à ń wù yìí ṣe mọ̀ pé a lọ sí ètò ìsinmi wọ́n ṣe ọdún iléyá ní ọjọ́ Àlàmísì ẹ̀sìn ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ àrèbíṣẹ́ ìlọ́fà gómìnà wa ní ó ṣe níláàánú láti rí pé àwọn kan tó wá ń dojú ìjà kọ òun dípò kó máa kan sára kó máa ṣe dànsákì pé àwọn tẹ̀ ṣe ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún àwọn ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ láti rí owó gbà. Wọ́n ní ojúṣe àwọn alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ni nítorí pé wọ́n dìbò yàn wọ́n ni kì í ṣe àwọn alága fìdí ẹ nítorí náà àwọn alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ni kàn béèrè pé kí ló dé tó fi sanwó àwọn ìjọba ìbílẹ̀. Àwọn fi dáhùn ìṣẹ́ lójú pé kò ní sí ẹnìkan tí ó pàdánù iṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ o pé kálukú wọ́n máa wọ owó tí wọ́n máa san fáwọn òṣìṣẹ́ lọ́gán bó ṣe rí nù.
Okay, moving right on, sir. Your Excellency, you were talking about the fact that the federal allocation is quite low when it comes to Kwara State. And that is the reason why it is causing a delay in the payment of salaries. Now, my question is, the President Muhammadu Buhari actually said something. He said that he was planning to make sure that there will be economic diversification. He said that. And I thought, well, more than likely, the Kwara State government, I know you have been very, very innovative. Your administration has been very, very innovative, from Kwabis to the one that just launched recently, Kwara's Next Entrepreneur. How do you plan to put into motion the plans of President Buhari when it comes to economic diversification in our state, Kwara State here?
Yes, see, more than ever before, it is becoming imperative for us as a state, as a people, to truly begin to look at new areas on how to diversify the economy. Because it is clear that what we've looked at from the federal government level, that is funding coming in from the crude oil, is becoming unsustainable. It's been on this for a while, but it's more than ever before necessary now that we look at new areas. In Kwara State, we've put our pens on paper, we've worked out our strategies, we've seen what we require to do to truly diversify our economy. We've recognized the fact that the economy can truly be diversified in Kwara when you take advantage of what you know how to do best, which is agriculture. But in trying to get agriculture in place, to truly see it as an economic driver, there are some basic things that have got to be put in place. Infrastructure, human capital capacity, and of course you inject some funds into the economy. This will ginger and stimulate the economy and allow for areas that are true drivers to take their true position and drive the economy. And this can only be done when government puts some basic things in place, i.e. infrastructure. We need good roads, we need good water, we need good hospitals and good schools. These are areas that will form the basic framework for evolving the kind of economy we want. And this can only be done if government has access to resources to do this. And the only way you can get access to resources is when you utilize all the resources that are coming from all angles. And it's getting clearer that the resources coming from the federal government is getting smaller. So we must face the other areas, which is the area of internally generated revenue. And what are the issues of internally generated revenue today as we have it in Kwara? We've had an inefficient collection system. People have been paying their dues, but we've had an inefficient collection system. We feel that we could do it better, and that has led us into evolving new ways, new means of driving internal generated revenue. We have decided to put a new framework with a new outfit, driven under a new technology with new people to meet some set targets in revenue drive. This is based on what we have seen are, collectible within the walls of Kwara. And we are sure that when these funds come in, it will serve as a very strong base for us to achieve the much desired economic growth, infrastructure development, and of course, drive the economy. Because it's a process that goes in a circle. What we get in revenue, we'll put in infrastructure. Of course, we even use some of it to to augment part of the outstanding, recurrent expenditure, but most of it, put it like 90% to 100%, sorry, to 99%, will go straight into infrastructure. Because we are sure at that time, whatever comes in federally can solve the recurrent expenditure. So what we're able to generate internally can now go into infrastructure. We'll be able to raise monies from other funding windows, either from international funding agencies, or we can go to the capital market, or we can even go to commercial banks. But we're able to tie the funds to specific projects. We're able to look at certain roads of certain grades, hospitals, water projects, schools, energy, that we're able to tie specific collections to, and people begin to get value for money. And that is where we can truly begin to develop, and we'll be able to see our economy diversifying, because diversification requires a platform. If you want to drive agriculture, there are some minimum standards of things you must put in place. You must create roads, there has to be electricity, there has to be processing. All these things are driven by infrastructure. And infrastructure.
Our next question will be, sir, about the internally generated revenue. You were talking about the fact that you would like to put, of course, your government would like to put in place much more efficient systems to make sure that internally generated revenue is being done much more appropriately and much more efficiently. Now, recently, the announcement was made of the appointment of Dr. Muritala Awudu as the pioneer chairman of Kwara State Internal Revenue Service. When will the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service start operations? Another question is, what efficient systems have been put in place to ensure that the work of the KRIRS is done much more smoothly, and so that it's much more efficient when it comes to the collection of internally generated revenue?
Yeah, thank you very much. You are correct by saying that we are already putting in place a machinery to drive the internal generated revenue. The process has started, and we're almost getting through. I would say we're like 2/3, way in now, because firstly the structure is already in place. It should be ready in another 1 week. The necessary technology to drive it is also ready. We are assembling the people. We've started by making recruitment for the chairman and a few directors, who would also be involved in helping to recruit the other lower cadre staff, and we expect that they will jointly go through a training process to understand the new technology, the new process, and of course the new targets. So we expect hopefully within the next 60 days we'll begin to have the structure and people on ground hitting the ground running. And we expect that this will translate into a much more efficient system, because like I said, there will be technology driven, and there will be a lot of cashless activities going on there. So we expect to see a lot more efficiency. You see, the last agency could not drive that level of efficiency because of the cash involved. You'd agree with me that all over the world, where cash collection is involved and physical cash involved, you hardly get efficiency. That's why if you look at abroad, a lot of cashless systems have been introduced. There are toll gates, there are supermarkets, and so many areas. So we try to drive it as cashless as possible. You see, it is tempting when you allow cash collection to be through cash, and you find a little difficult in trying to get efficiency. And it's in case for this that we've sought to introduce a technological system that will make it as cashless as possible, and all collections will be seen to be entering the desired account, and which of course will serve as a central revenue account for the state. And from there, disbursements to various areas of support and need will be made available. For us, it's not only about efficiency, it's also about transparency, and begins to make people see how government works. Because the more people understand how government works, the more they can manage their expectations from government, and the more they can demand or not demand what they should from government. So I think it's the right direction, not only for us as a government, but also as the people of Nigeria, as people of Kwara, will begin to understand the correlation between government and the people. And whatever they pay as tax should be understood as being directed at specific things that they can see as development, and they can also manage the expectations from government.
nípa àjọ tí mo mójútó àwọn tí wọlé lábẹ́lé fún ìjọba ni wọ́n béèrè lọ́wọ́ gómìnà pé ibo ni wọ́n bá ṣẹ́dé lórí rẹ̀ wọ́n sì ní nǹkan bíi oṣù kan síbi tí a wà yìí ètò yóò ti mọ̀ tó nípa pé ibùdó tí wọ́n mọ̀ lò àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n mọ̀ gbà tí wọ́n mọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ nípa báwọn tẹ̀ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ nípa yan alága àti àwọn olùdarí díẹ̀díẹ̀ tí wọ́n mójútó ètò yìí tí wọ́n sì wá ṣe ìgbàsíṣẹ́ àwọn tí ó kù gómìnà wa fi yé ni pé nípasẹ̀ ìmọ̀ṣẹ́ ẹ̀rọ òun náà ni wọ́n fi gbé iléeṣẹ́ ìkalẹ̀ nítorí pé à ń fojú rí owó ó jẹ́ ní tí ó lè múni ṣìwàwù wọ́n wá ṣe níṣètò pé bàbá ń sanwó orí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ní òní wọ́n fi ojú rí owó tó sì yẹ pé ìlànà táwọn gbà san gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ṣe ń ṣẹlẹ̀ dáwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó ti mókè bí ẹ bá rajà lórílẹ̀-èdè míì nísìn níwulẹ̀ gbówó káàkiri nípasẹ̀ ìlànà eléyìí wọ́n tó pé kò sí bá ṣe lè ṣe ẹlẹ́ran ara níwá o nígbà tí wọ́n bá mú gbé gbogbo eléyìí wọ́n wá mọ̀ pé owó tí táwọn èèyàn bá ń san inú wọn yóò dùn láti mọ̀ san torí pé bí wọ́n ṣe ń san òun ni ìdàgbàsókè yóò máa gòkè sí nípínlẹ̀ Kwara kò jẹ́ bí eléyìí ṣe jẹ́.
We'll be going for a quick break right now, but before that, I want to let you know that we are available on different social media platforms with Facebook, and our Facebook page is www.facebook.com/Real FM Radio. We also on Twitter, you can follow us at Real FM 951. Also, we are on WhatsApp, and our WhatsApp number is 0903-580-7883. So you can send your questions, have questions you'd like to ask the governor. You can send your questions to those social media platforms where you can have more or less like a one-on-one with Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kwara State. We're talking about Alhaji Abdulfatah Ahmed, and he's here in the studio with us. He's been answering a lot of questions, and he's been giving us a lot of great information about Kwara State, about the developments in Kwara State, about the way forward, and so on and so forth. Now we're going to move on to more questions, and as well I want to let you know that the phone lines will be open. You can call in as well. You can also reach us through our social media platforms, which are available at Real FM 951. Also we're on Facebook, that is www.facebook.com/Real FM Radio. Alright, so I'm going to move on to the next question. Your Excellency, sir, this is about the recent events in Kwara State. Talk about security here, and the recent event that happened at the last Leah celebration, at the Eid praying ground, that situation that occurred, and it comes to the cancellation of the Independence Day celebration as well. What is your government doing to improve the security situation in the state?
Firstly, we need to recognize that it was a very unfortunate situation that happened on the day that Muslims all around the world decided to celebrate the Eid with their families, kins and kindred. Some people decided to take advantage of that gathering and opted to commit crime. It is very unfortunate because governance is serious business. Governance is not about politicking. We should understand where politicking starts and where it stops. Governance is about everybody. Politicking is about politicians. You see, a situation where you find out that a few politicians decide to amuse themselves, especially the opposition, by going to instigate crime, and the process you think you want to bring down the other party down. You are not achieving anything, but you are only telling us that your style of politics is about yourself, it's not about the people. Because if it's about the people, you should know that this time for governance is not time for politics. Because what happened was clearly a set of misguided youths in the opposition who felt that they could take their anger that far at the prayer ground. It was most unfortunate. No matter your grouses, no matter your differences. You see, it is very unfortunate that our people tend to take politics too far. You misguide people. You give people wrong information. Even when government is doing the right thing, you opt to go and say the wrong thing. That's not opposition. That's not opposition. The Republicans in America will not go and instigate crime. Maybe instigate a few people to go and commit crime, and then they try to bring down the other political party. They won't do that. Because it's about progress for everybody. But you see, our style of politics, because our minds are small when it comes to politicking. We try to think that it's only about ourselves. We've forgotten that it's about the people. And that is why you instigate crime. Politics should not involve crime. So whatever you saw at the mosque was purely political. And it shouldn't involve crime. And that is why some people have been arrested and they'll be questioned. I'm sure they'll be taken to court. And the law will take its course. And whoever is being found to be linked with it will also be brought to book. It doesn't matter, you will go to the television, go to the radio to say things you are not supposed to say, but it's your business. But once you commit crime, the law will catch up with you. It is very clear it was the handiwork of opposition. And it's unfortunate that they took politicking too far. Because we have started governance. Let the people that voted begin to enjoy the benefits. Don't spend the next 4 years politicking again. Otherwise, it will become a mockery of governance. It will become a mockery of people's future. We need to plan. We need to work and get things done. A new administration is just getting in. It has taken through so much pain to get to this level. We have seen the level of incalculable damage we have found ourselves economically amongst community of growing nations. God has taken us through a peaceful election. We've been able to go through a process that is allowing us to change. That is allowing us to begin to think again as Nigerians, as brothers and sisters. We're collectively fighting the insurgency. Why should we encourage young men to go and throw bantas in the mosque? In the mosque, of all places. It's unfortunate. For whatever guys, whatever reason, it is not the right place. Because you see, you could have caused stampede there. There were toddlers that were brought there. There were young babies here and there. If that had resulted into maybe some kind of fracas, what would have happened to those people? It is because of selfishness. That's why they didn't care. It's not a political rally. They didn't care. But obviously, some of them did not come to pray. From what I heard, I wasn't there. From what I heard some of them came in jeans, in t-shirts. It's not typical of we Muslims don't go to pray on a day like that. But be it as it may, it's an unfortunate situation, and all of us must put hands together. Government, clergies, traditional rulers, fathers and mothers, we must disallow this kind of thing to ever happen again. We must disallow it. Politicians who instigated this, the hands of the law will catch up with them, and obviously they'll be brought to book. That is the true position.
Lórí tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ nípa ètò ààbò nípínlẹ̀ Kwara ni wọ́n mẹ́nubà ní pàtàkì tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Yídì lọ́jọ́ ọdún Iléyá. Gómìnà káàdó púpọ̀ pé ó jẹ́ tí ó fi ọwọ́ bà wọ́n lẹ́mìí ni pé irú kan báyìí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Ọlọ́run. Ètò òṣèlú ọ̀tọ̀, ètò ìṣàkóso ọ̀tọ̀. Wọ́n ti fi hàn pé àsìkò òṣèlú ti kọjá. Lásìkò tí a bá ń ṣe ètò ìpolongo ohun kó lè wáyé. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí a ti jùmọ̀ dìbò ní àwọn kan sípò láti máa ṣe àkóso ìlú, ó ti kan èmi àti ìwọ, kì í ṣe àwọn olóṣèlú mọ́. Àmọ́ nípa pé àwọn kan wá rò pé alátakò ni pé kó máa takò èèyàn gbogbo bí, àti pé àtakò ó yàtọ̀, àsìkò òṣèlú lèèyàn lè ṣe àtakò, kì í ṣe àtúntò tí ó máa ṣe ìṣàkóso. Wọ́n ní ilé Ọlọ́run ó wá jẹ́ ibi tí àwọn èèyàn wọ́n á wọ àwọn ṣòkòtò kákí lọ. Ilé Ọlọ́run ó jẹ́ ibi tí àwọn èèyàn wọ sígílẹ̀tì péńpé lọ, tó sì jẹ́ pé ń bẹnu ìwé mímọ́ pé lọ́jọ́ mímọ́ a gbọ́dọ̀ wọ aṣọ tó dáa. Ẹ ti rí pé àwọn tí ó lọ dán iṣẹ́ ìwò kì í ṣe àwọn tí ó lọ kírun, tí bá ṣe ìwà ìbọn tara ẹni nìkan. Bí wọ́n jẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sàṣálà fẹ́mi ọlọ́jọ́ náà, tí àwọn ìkókó ń bẹ́ẹ̀ tí àwọn màjèṣí ń bẹ́ẹ̀ kí ni ìbá wáyé. Ẹ wà rí pé àwọn ẹni yìí tí ó dùn ní iṣẹ́ irú yìí, wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé kò sí ní tó kọ àwọn wípé bí wọ́n tẹ ọmọ ọlọ́mọ pa. Wọ́n tún wá ń pàrọwà sí gbogbo àwọn lọ́balọ́ba, wọ́n pàrọ̀ sí gbogbo àwọn àfáà, wọ́n pàrọ̀ sí gbogbo àwọn wòlíì, wọ́n pàrọ̀ sí gbogbo àwa tí a jẹ́ òbí pé ká pawọ́pọ̀ ètò ààbò ó di ọwọ́ wa o, kí orílẹ̀ yìí kí ó mọ̀ wáyé mọ́, ká mọ àsìkò òṣèlú yàtọ̀ sí ètò ìṣàkóso. Lọ́wọ́ tá a wáyé àǹfààní tá a lè jẹ nípa ètò ìṣàkóso òun lè kí ó kàn wá gbọ̀ngbọ̀n.
Your Excellency, sir, another question that we have for you is about infrastructure development in the state. when does your administration intend to commence infrastructure projects which are currently experiencing kind of like a pause right now?
Yes, I'm happy that has been brought up because our infrastructure support has had a lull since the beginning of this year. Because not only the fact that we were caught pants down with the dwindling revenue, which could hardly support all the recurrent expenditure, but also the fact that we went through an electoral process that took so much time out of the time we would have used to do other things. But be it as it may, we give thanks to God Almighty for taking us through thus far. And I want to assure you that already our strategies for what we want to do for the next 4 years have been clearly outlined. Our strategies on roads. Firstly, we have ongoing roads, which we intend to bring to completion. And then we have new ones that will start, which we also intend to bring to completion. We have activities in water. The Ilorin Metropolis water would have to be completed. We have new water works coming in from Okuta, Oyun, Obo, and other small water works around will also be brought to completion levels. All in all, we've outlined our programs and our projects across all sectors. But the most critical part, which is the critical success factor, which is availability of resources. The loans means that you have less pressure on your current cash flow. If what you are paying before has been lowered, so you have more money available. So that money will also support us access to, funding windows, i.e. commercial banks, development banks, where we would raise money and complete these projects, jumpstart new ones, and take them also to completion. So I want to assure you that we have put the funding modalities in place. God's willing, by the end of this month, you begin to see our contractors going back to work. At least we start with ongoing projects, which we intend to get to completion levels. You see, we want to be very thorough in our fundraising programs, because this year is a year of stress for everybody who is seeing what we have gone through. But for us, it's a year of repositioning. It's a year of refocusing, which we have done and which we are ready to take a major leap towards getting ourselves to the right levels. So I'll assure you, hopefully, by the end of this month, our contractors will begin to get back to work, and new ones will also begin to rear their heads in direction of completion. Thank you.
And so now we're going to start accepting your phone calls, your questions through our social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and of course WhatsApp. But before that, I want to acknowledge the fact that Radio Kwara, Radio Power, or King FM, Harmony FM, they all have all linked up with us right now to broadcast this program live. So we're acknowledging their presence right now, and we're going to start asking some questions. Some of the questions, we're going to be taking them and asking the Executive Governor, His Excellency Abdulfatah Ahmed, right now. On Twitter, we have a question from Prince Nujin, and he says, you promised to create more local governments when you campaigned for the second term, or when you were campaigning for the second term, and now nothing has been put in place about it. So that is his question.
Yes, we have not cancelled our desire to create new local governments. Our desire to create local governments are still very much on the pipeline, but they are heavily reliant on resources. If we have challenges with the current 16 local government, I don't think it's going to be expedient to begin to create new ones, but they are still in the pipeline.
Okay, so another question from Twitter is from Ellis Dawson, and he says, please, when is the government planning to recruit?
Recruitment also is something which has to be structured in such a way that it will be need-based. Currently, we are accumulating the need gaps that we have across the MDAs, and once those need gaps have been isolated, we now look at the cost element that will be required to carry on the school to the system, and at that level we now decide. So I see, give or take, we can't see anything happening before the next 60 days.
On WhatsApp, here's a question from Sunday. Sunday says, sir, we learned that some of the local government accounts have been frozen. Please, why is this happening?
Nobody freezes anybody's account. You see, people just misunderstand how things work. We have executive chairmen, and these chairmen are responsible for their accounts. Our responsibility is to supervise them at the levels to which they share money among themselves under their joint allocation system. And once this has been done, they carry on their business. Except the local government comes to us and tells us that he has a problem, we'll never interfere. If he is not able to pay his salary, ordinarily it should be his business. But if he comes to me, I will listen to him as the father of all. Don't forget, they are all local governments within Kwara State. So between you and I, no account has been frozen. What do you think you have heard about frozen accounts? I don't want to bring it up, but I'll just give you an inkling. Part of the monies that were paid to local governments, we found out that there were overpayments. There were payments where local governments did not need the money, but because we were in a hurry and the monies were paid through banks, so accounts were quickly credited. But as we are reconciling, we began to see that there were overpayments. So that's why we began to quickly bring back those monies. So not that accounts were frozen.
Okay, so we're going to pick up a couple of phone calls right now, but when you do calling, please just state your name, where you're calling from, and just be very, very quick with your question or... Hello?
Hello?
Hello, hi, what is your name, please?
Good morning, this is Popola Wasio.
Alright, please go ahead.
Good morning to the Excellencies. So recently it was in the news that the federal government has reimbursed the state that constructed road with their own money. I don't know whether Kwara has collected this, and what do you intend to do with this? Then secondly, on the yet to be constituted state executive, you promised to bring new hands into governance as well as technocrats. But the list we have presently of 9 commissioners are all of both ones. What are you doing? Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please. Go ahead. We can hear you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello? You promised bringing new hands. So, but the 9 names we have on the list are still old wines and new boats. So, I don't know why the government decided to make a reversal. Then, on the last note, this is the second time you are coming in 5 months. We are expecting you every month, sir, because your immediate past commissioner for information has made it known to Kwara that it is only for this in the coming to us to tell us what is happening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly give you answers. I want to thank you for these questions. Yes, the issue of refund from the federal government. The federal government has not refunded any state for its federal capital projects. We are only muting this at the Economic Council level on modalities on how to pay states that are being owed, and also modalities on how to carry on way forward. Now, we don't want to be carrying on this situation where we do work, then we come cap in hand asking for money. So 2 things are being expected from the federal government. Firstly, to pay the current outstanding, which they have not paid. The second one is to agree on the way forward, that if a state does a federal job, how and when will he be paid? So it makes it easier for everybody, and there will be an understanding between both parties. And the Federal Ministry of Works came with a modality that we keyed in at the state, and that was what made us engage ourselves in Kayama Kishi Road, because it's purely a federal road. However, we agreed on what to do, but the federal government has not come out clearly on whether they will pay us and when to pay us. But because this road is a portion of the federal road coming from Badagry all the way to Sokoto. In fact, the bid has been done. But because that portion is what concerns us at Kwara, that's why we requested to construct that road. And we have since initiated, but we've been capacitated by funds. And we expect the federal government to take it up or fund us to continue. But for everything we have spent on federal roads and other federal projects, no refund other than the ones we had gotten in the past, which was as far back as about 3-4 years ago that came in. Now, on the issue of commissioners, as desirable as it is to bring new hands into driving government business, you also agree with me that there is no substitute for experience. And that is why you cannot completely bring new people to drive an ongoing process. So it is relevant that some people must remain back to drive some critical areas and then create room for new ones who would come in and learn a cue on how this government business is done. You see, government business is continuous. We are not always at zero level, then we start over again at zero level. It's a continuous thing. So there's a limit to which you bring new hands. If you look at what the president is doing, he's not doing anything differently. as much as he wants to bring new hands, you also want to bring people who understand the system, who would help you drive the policies. Because you see, it's not much about the people that are brought. Yes, it is important that we bring very quality people, but it is more about the leadership direction on how you make policies available, and these people recognize it and they drive it to the letter, which we are also very familiar with. And that is how we intend to run government business. And you see, it will be very dynamic because we will allow for input from different levels. People will suggest to us, people will tell us what they think we should do, and as we are moving on, people will let us know whether we are doing it rightly. Because that is what governance is all about. It is about all of us. It's not about those of us participating or those of you that are waiting to benefit. It's about all of us. So we must join hands to positively see how we translate this to proper benefit. On the issue of regularity of my coming up, truly I will make my coming up much more regular now, because we're almost beginning to see that government business has jump-started. We're already in business. We begin to hear more and more of things that are happening in government, because we intend to improve on transparency. Don't forget, we've joined a team under the APC to drive a system of change. And a system of change requires that we do things differently. If we are not transparent enough, we need to create additional transparency. If we are not accountable enough, we need to introduce additional accountability. If we are not maybe live enough for our people to see, we come in much more live for our people to see us, so that we talk more, because it is becoming more about the people than about us. That is why governance will be taking this direction way forward.
We'd like to add that if you want to call in, the numbers to call is 0805 0999 966, 0805 0999 966. We do have a lot of questions on WhatsApp. Yes, hello, what is your name, please? Ekaro. Okay.
Ekaro. Amen.
No, because I'm not so good for our bá ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ tó rí nìyẹn, ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ kò sí tó ti kọjá àfaradà. Àjọsọpọ̀ tó máa mú àjọṣepọ̀ la máa lépa nísìn, bí nǹkan ṣe máa gún régé tó máa fi dájú báyìí lọ, tó máa fi jẹ́ kí ètò ìdàgbàsókè kó máa kan àwọn èèyàn wa, àwọn máa sáré dà sí.
Your Excellency, we have another question on WhatsApp. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hi, what is your name, please?
John Pacheco.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, I really want to thank the governor. Usually, my own belief is that when someone is in position, it is all to the subject to pray for them, for God to guide them. So many of the way we pour in requests and expectations, God will give you the enablement to be able to perform and deliver because of the day of judgment. Well done, sir.
Thank you, sir. A question from Comrade Ayola on WhatsApp says, good morning, the executive government presenters. It's good to have a governor closer to us. Keep it up. Please, what is the future of our young people enrolled as Kwabes and other jobless graduates in our state?
Yes, thank you very much. Kwabes and other programs for youth would not have anything other than growth, because our responsibility is to continue to expand the business, to make it available for our younger generation. Don't forget, the young generation is not getting smaller, it's getting bigger. So we'll continue to re-evolve Kwabes to make it more robust, get additional resources, so that our youths can be properly directed, they can take advantage and become good citizens. So for you, I would say the future is much bigger than what we have today.
So, adúpọ̀lọ́wọ́ gómìnà láti àárọ̀ ní àgbàlagbàbọ̀ tí wọ́n ti sọ ẹnìkan bẹ̀rẹ̀ nípa ìdásílẹ̀ àwọn ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ilé tí gómìnà sọ pé àwọn yóò ṣe nígbà tí wọ́n ṣe ètò ìpolongo ọ̀rọ̀ wá dàbí adẹ́tẹ̀ tí ó ra ẹ̀pà tó ní kó gbé ni ilé tí ó fojú owó rà ṣó ti rọwọ́ kó wọ́n ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ mẹ́rìndínlógún tí wà ń lẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ká máa wọ́n láti máa gbọ́ bùkátà pé àwọn èrò sì ń lọ lọ́wọ́ láti dá àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ sí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ à ń gbani síṣẹ́ wọ́n ní bí nǹkan bí agbépẹ́lí àwọn náà wọn ò ní dẹ̀yìn pa rẹ̀ ẹnìkan tẹ̀ tó wá béèrè pé kí ló dé tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tí wọ́n gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé akoto owó tìjọba ìbílẹ̀ wọ́n ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ tó wá ní wọ́n gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé akoto tó ń kó sọ́ o tó pé àwọn ò mọ̀ nípa gbígbẹ́sẹ̀ lé akoto bí ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ bá níṣòro wọ́n máa ń kéètò àwọn wá ní láti gbà wọ́n àwọn ò lè pa kún ìṣòro wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ sì gẹ́gẹ́ lẹ́nìkan béèrè pé àwọn owó tí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ti ná lórí àwọn àkànṣe fún ìjọba àpapọ̀ wọn dọ́gbọ́n ti san gómìnà ní kò sí tó jọ bẹ́ẹ̀ àmọ́ wọ́n ti dúnàdúrà lórí ọ̀nà láti jẹ́ kí owó ìṣe san padà lórí àwọn kọmíṣánná tó ń fẹ́ yàn wọ́n ní kí ló dé wọ́n ń tẹ̀bí ó yẹ kí àwọn tuntun wọ́n wà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n ní ètò ìṣèjọba lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà àti nípínlẹ̀ Kwara ètò tó mọ̀ ń tẹ̀síwájú ni tí gbogbo ẹni tí wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ ń dẹ̀ àkóso bá jẹ́ àwọn tí ò mọ̀ ń pa rẹ̀ wọ́n ní yóò mẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fi àwọn tí ó ti ń ṣe díẹ̀ sílẹ̀ wọ́n sì yà àwọn tuntun kó tó wá kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sí wọ́n ní bí yóò ṣe máa lọ nípa rẹ̀ nípa wíwá sí orí ẹ̀rọ rédíò àti tẹlifíṣàn nípa sísọ àwọn tí wọ́n ti gbé ṣe wọ́n ní ká mọ̀ pé kò tí ì pẹ́ tí wọ́n ṣe ìwúra wọlé fún wọn àsìkò ètò ìṣàkóso ló ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ yìí tí ó bá sí àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n fẹ́ sọ lórí rédíò òun náà ni pé ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní pẹ́rẹ́wó lórí àwọn ìpèsè àwọn amáyédẹrùn àti ṣe àwọn àkóso látọ̀ orí ètò kan sí kejì lórí àwọn ilé wọn náà kí gbogbo ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara pé àjọṣepọ̀ gbogbo wa kò ní bàjẹ́ o ẹ ṣé.
Well, we're so sorry we cannot entertain any more questions right about now because we're out of time. But we do want to thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kwara State, in the person of Alhaji Abdulfatah Ahmed. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on. We really do appreciate it. And of course, honestly, thank you to my senior colleague, my boss. I'm talking about Alhaji Abdulfatai Dankazeem. Thank you, sir, for co-hosting the program with me this morning. You made it much more easier and smoother. All right, that is it. Sorry if you couldn't pick up your calls in most of the time. Don't forget that this program comes up periodically. And then the next edition, of course, you'll be made aware when the next edition will be, when you get to definitely have a one-on-one with the governor. Of course, definitely, I cannot forget the presence of the CEO of Real FM and the person of Engineer Adebayo. He's here, silent, but he's here. His presence means a lot. Thank you, sir, for being here. And that's it. Do have a wonderful day and stay safe. And of course, it is good here in Kwara.